Trading tickers, Paul Shakuri here. What's going on, everybody? If you take a look at the screen, the market is in sell-off mode. There's no magic. There's no, oh, I told you so. There's no, somebody could have called this to happen. Now, I believed it could happen, and I was waiting for this. And as a matter of fact, I'm going to explain a little bit more about the different types of points of entry that I'm looking to get in on, for example, on Ethereum. Ethereum is still a coin that a lot of people do build their actual coins based on, right? The ERC20 tokens. And keep in mind, again, you don't have to be a genius to make money from the markets. By all means, am I not saying that I know everything about the cryptocurrencies, but I know how to trade stocks and as well price charts. The way you're going to make money, remember, here at Trading Tickers, I always teach for myself, the way I make money is by accumulating into dips, selling into the pops, and being very patient with that. And once you start getting comfortable with that, you can scale up. And let it run. Now, this could go to zero. That's the reality. I mean, Ethereum can absolutely go to zero. God knows what the big market makers have in mind. God knows what the people who, this could be the end of, Ethereum as we know it. Is it highly likely? I don't believe so. But I just want you guys to understand inside my mind how I think when I'm trading. I mean, this is all still new, right? I mean, when we're getting into this cryptocurrency stuff, it's also new. I really want you guys to understand, how I think when I'm trading. And once you guys start to understand more and unlock this, that all the shit you guys see on the actual graphs, it's all BS. It really is. At the end of the day, they say, oh, well, this is where the market's at, and this is what people are willing to pay. No, that's not true. It's not true. Let's be honest with ourselves here. What game changers in today's age have cryptocurrencies done so far? I'm talking so far. Do I believe long term it will be game changers? Absolutely. But so far, what has it changed? Has it changed, the way you get up out of bed, from automating the process to payments from when you get out of bed to getting you to work in an Uber car? No, it hasn't. It hasn't done that yet. So to say this crap, and let me go on a monthly chart, and I'm going to call it crap, although I do like it, is worth $1,400 a freaking coin? Get a life. Get a life. Is it worth $485 a coin? Get a life. Is it worth $10 a coin? Well, who knows? Who knows the exact worth? And keep in mind, I'm going to show you again how I make money in the markets. And it's all just fluff and BS of what's on the actual chart itself right now, because there's so many unknowns. I mean, the unknown is this could possibly be picked up by, God knows, Google and every other, bank and whatever it is. I'm just coming up with ideas in general first. We all know Ripple, banks, and stuff like that. I'm not talking about the actual coin itself, but all these things, they could be picked up. There's no question. But to set an actual value, if anybody's valuing what, a certain coin is worth today, you're going to get shot in the foot. I assure you that. And you better hope you heard this information from here, because I assure you, if you didn't hear this information from over here and you're just still going on all this bullshit hype that people are talking on social media, on YouTube channels about, oh, this thing's going to the moon and I know, and look at what they just closed. You're gonna be losing money long term. It's inevitable. I'm sorry to say, but you really are. So how do we make money from this? Well, first of all, let's take, and again, we're still way too early in the crypto game. That's for sure. In the stock market, and by the way, if you guys watched the first video, I told you I was in Sing, and it's gone up. It's shot up over 100% in the last, I think, 3 days, somewhere around there. 75%, you name it. I don't care. That's something I'm holding long term. Unfortunately, it was the last stock I've ever bought the wrong way that I've held off that hasn't become profitable yet. So I'm negative with that one. Full disclosure, I'm in at about 9 cents and that's about $7,000 worth. I think like 35,000 shares I have of that, SING. But gentleman from Shark Tank, Ken Harrington, he's Kevin Harrington, Ken Harrington, whatever. He's pumping that stock. He's going in, talking a bunch of great stuff about it. They're about to they got listed, which was great. It has a lot of cool things that they're working on. Now, whether or not it's going to take off to $1, 50 cents, 80 cents, I have a strong feeling that with the hype, I don't know too much about the company, as of like the backing behind the infrastructure of whether or not they're going to be able to pull through. It looks like it. Everything looks great on paper, but hey, it's a risk I'm willing to take. It's a gamble. It really is. When we're playing the stock market, we're gambling. When we're playing the market, and I say stock market, I'll categorize the cryptocurrency market in that too. I mean, it's gambling, especially right now. Now, once a company becomes more established and you start to be able to attach value to these companies, that's when the market can actually start associating a net dollar per share, per coin worth. See, right now, you can't put net worth on this thing. You can't say it's worth, and clearly the chart is showing you this. We went from $144 up to $1,400. Market saying, and the market, I mean people from the big investors all the way to the, average Joe who's just retail investor. Retail is the guys like you and I. I don't care if you have millions of dollars in this thing, a couple million, you're still a retail investor. But, the people who are just buying and selling and flipping and making thousands to a couple $1,000,000 in this market, you don't have say. You don't have say where it's going. I mean, the market's trying to find out, and again, the market is trying to find out where is its net worth. Where are the majority of people willing to put their money into this thing and just keep holding it? And that's when the market starts to happen, is when there's longer term, more people in an actual coin itself or in an actual stock that are just sitting on it and having it hold its worth. Because remember, the market's all about supply and demand. If more people want it, well, there's a higher demand for it. And then that means if there's more people that want this thing, well, then the price of it's going to obviously go up. The supply is actually going to go down. There's going to be less people who are going to actually be able to have it. So supply and demand is something that's needs to be understood, but you can't just look at a graph and say, oh, supply and demand, and figure out these massive points and study. You got to understand how markets move. You got to feel like I'm gonna jump in and let me do this. There we go. Substratum is now less 0.0005. I set those. That's just from Coin Stats, and boom. Let me show you this. I don't know if you could see it or not. I don't got a preview of how I see it. Pretty sure I can activate it, but that's there. So let's go into that one. That's Substratum to Ether. So Substratum to Ether. Let's go in and first talk about that one. Where is Substratum to Ether? Here we go. So Substratum to Ether, we're below 5.5. You see, that's how I got that notification. That's right there. Why am I looking for this level? I wanted to be notified by it before it were to tank so that I can monitor it. You see, we have these lows here. Support and resistance. These are basic. Anybody who's been learning support and resistance, people's programs that you buy, for thousands of dollars, which I have, make no, you're not going to make money learning just supply and resistance and support and resistance. You're not going to make money that way. However, you're going to make money understanding what the market, what the graph is telling you. What is it telling you? Like here, this is what this graph is telling me. You see, in this move, they say put in a double bottom. Well, how many times has something put in a double bottom? I mean, it's come to here, this point over here, it's put in a little bit of a bottom and then it went back up. How many times have you bought into a double bottom only to find out that it cracks and it goes below that double bottom? Oh, well, that's when you sell off, but only to find out it stops just like this out. Look at this. It's put in a bottom here. It put in a bottom here, but then it came down right below that, but then went back up. You see, it's all about market maker manipulation, folks. That's the whole name of the game. Until you realize the market is just constantly being manipulated, you will not make money from the markets. You will not. So you have to learn how to accumulate these spots where people are freaking out and they can't take it lower. The market makers cannot take it lower. The probability of them not taking it lower is very low. and they have to spike it up so that they can start making money selling off what they just accumulated from all the buys they took of people selling it off. Now, that's a lot of information. I get it. Watch the video over and over again. I mean, I'll be even shocked if this channel, I'll be 100%. I'll be shocked if this channel even takes off. I mean, I like to kind of believe that YouTube would censor this. They're all kind of in the same boats. Call me a kook if you want, or whatever you want to call it. But I'll be shocked if they even show these videos to get you guys the true information on how markets actually move. So for me, I can care less. I'm just making these videos as if, you know, it is going to, and hopefully it does. And if it does, we can revert back, and I'll put an apology that, wow, maybe absolutely that they don't censor everything that is against their the establishment, somewhat to say, of the financial market. So who knows? I mean, I'm optimistic for it. We'll see, but we'll see about that. So you see this? So this is what I'm looking at right now. And what are we looking at? We're at Substratum to Ether. You see, Substratum has, based on the charts, a chart that can spike. If it wants to turn around, it can. So to say again, and I've done a little bit of research on Substratum, whether the technology is cool and the people are backed up or not. I've done a little bit of research. It's not just a coin that is basically, you know what? Let's do that. Let's look at here. I'm gonna bring this on. Substratum. Let's open this up over here. Let's go into Substratum, and let's go substratum.net. Hope y'all are having an awesome time with the cryptocurrency markets. If not, you know, comment. I want to see how you guys are liking these videos. Are you staying all the way to the end? Are you engaging? I know they're going to be long, but they're informative on what I know. So we are the foundation of the decentralized web. You can watch a little video about Substratum, you know, the cryptocurrency changing the world. I put notes on them, but pretty much at a glance, anyone can host websites or applications using Substratum. Host paying networks users services. So like, for example, you have a laptop and you want to make money from your laptop. Well, you can like literally from their software, activate it and start making money from your CPU usage and stuff like that. Like, to me, that technology sounds pretty cool. Whether they'll be able to deliver or not, I don't know. Looking at the website, it looks pretty cool. Again, you don't have to be a rocket scientist. I'm going to prove it, rocket scientist, to prove whether or not you can make money from this. Just looking at how neat and clean and organized they are, you know, me personally, as an investor that doesn't want to do a ton of research into the actual fundamentals of more of a technical trader, you know, I like looking at this, you know, looking at the people behind the project. How much money are they investing? How clean is it? Are they constantly marketing? These are the things that can spike the actual coin itself. And we're going to talk more about that. And as obviously I start scaling in and going heavier, this is a risky play if I haven't done so much research on it. But then again, these are all risky plays. You see, the reason why I back up Substratum is because I believe in the new ways of making money are going to be anybody, the average Joe Schmo. You and I can actually make money from what we currently have. And that's what this is. We have access to a computer. We have access to the internet. When I'm not using it, I'd like to turn it on and make money from it, you know? So that is a brilliant idea, I believe. So I believe in this. Now, whether or not the people, am I going to do hours and hours of research into whether or not this can spike? No, and I'll tell you why. Take a look. The chart showed me that it has the ability to spike. There are other people who have already done their homework or are interested in this, that it can spike. So look at this. Even if I buy in where my first order entry over here is at the 3 level. So even if we're down here at the 3, okay, so let me go down all the way to the 3. Look at this. This is right where this support is. So even if we go below, I'm going to be doubling up every half. So if it's 3, then 1.5, I'll double up my money. And then if it goes down to 0.75 or whatever the number is, I'll actually keep doubling up. And for me, like I said again, I'm blessed to have built successful companies to where I can afford that loss. Why? Because once that turns around, and let's just say it wants to retest, you know, these 14 level marks, that's a lot of money to be made into this. Because it's still new, which means it still has that option, that opportunity in my eyes for them to develop and grow. Worst case scenario, I'll leave the money in there. I don't care. I'll leave it until it spikes. Again, this is money that I'm willing to risk in a market. Again, a crypto market that is is speculative, but has very big upside reward. Now, and again, this is not what I'm doing. If I were a person, by the way, all these videos are for educational purposes only, as you know. I'm not giving financial advice, but if somebody were to actually take on millions of people's dollars and doing this with it, I would not recommend it at all. Zero, absolutely not. But, if you have money to play and you're going to gamble with it, this is the way I like to gamble. I like to spend my money in this because it's been proving, time and time again that you can definitely reap the rewards. Now, here's my problem. I currently live in Canada, and getting money into this stuff isn't that easy. Getting your fiat, which is your actual dollars, into this stuff isn't easy. So, for example, let's just say I want to get my fiat currency into Substratum Direct. Well, they don't have a trading pair for Substratum to USDT, which is the actual tether, for example. They don't have that. So I got to get into Ether, and Ether convert it into Substratum. Now, and I'm going to be talking more about these upcoming videos about this stuff. So there are some challenges. What I did in the past when I was first getting started, I'm like, dude, I just want to get in. And this was, at the New Year's 2017 turning into 2018, where I was getting my accounts open and I was held back. I'm like, I want to get myself into this stuff. But the problem is, I got myself into Ether knowing, I knew, I just wanted to get my feet wet. I got myself into Ether. But it started to spike up a bit, and then it started to tank, and my Ether slowly started getting eaten away. And I knew I wanted to get into the trading pairs. I wanted to get into like Substratum and EOS and whatever, all these Tron. I wanted to get into these things, but lo and behold, my actual Ether was decreasing in value. So the time you get your fiat into like the Ether and the Bitcoin, it's so volatile that it could possibly go down. So the reality is you want to get it into like USDT to hold and maintain that value, or also on the opposite, what if you're buying into Ether and it goes up? So there are a lot of things I'm going to talk about. If I want to get into Substratum right away, I will wait until Substratum gets to my price point. Now, this is just throwaway Ether that I actually have in this Binance account. So I'm not worried. I set my goals. Once it starts hitting, that day I will instantly log in to my account, convert fiat to Ether, and instantly that same day, that same minute, that same hour, purchase the amount of Ether, Substratum that I want. And that's the same for all these other coins that I would actually be buying. So that's the way I basically do it. That's the way I basically purchase these things, and how I flip it and make money in the market with it. I'm excited about it. It's got a lot of volatility. It's got a lot of liquidity on a lot of these, not all, but a lot of them actually have liquidity. It's super cool to see all these things. So let me give you a little bit more information. Now let's end this video. So I'm gonna just show you right now what I'm looking at with Ether to USD. I like Ether for flipping. It's like buying and selling houses. I mean, it's not crazy amounts of money, but it's cool to just watch it duplicate. Ether is something that I do stick long term. People are saying, Ether is going to be the next Bitcoin. Bitcoin, and by the way, this is my take on Bitcoin. Not a lot of people are saying it. Oh, Bitcoin is the gold of the cryptocurrency. Look, Bitcoin was the first. Do you remember telephones back in the day? And this is my personal belief. I could be 100% wrong, but I'm going to call it as it is. So with Bitcoin, it was the first, and it was great that it created this whole market. It was proof of concept that it would work, that people would be willing to buy and sell this stuff from, yes, even the big financial institutions. And by the way, this is again my belief. If you think that these financial institutions are completely against cryptocurrency, you're wrong. The most wealthiest people, yes, the banks themselves, they're eating this shit up. They love cryptocurrencies. Oh, it's totally against. It's putting the people back, guys. They wanted to set up digital currency for the longest period of time. People pushed back saying, I'm not going to get chipped and, have being tracked and traced. Listen, there's more than, and that's for another video. And if you know what I'm talking about, feel free to comment, even if you got this far in the video. But there's a bigger cause that's out there that most definitely is controlling these markets and implementing this and indoctrinating, the new generation into this new form of currency. Cash is going to be going away. My belief, I'll call it out as it is. It's going to be even more and more digital to where, your kids, my kids, the generations of kids are going to be everything digital. That's going to be tracked, traced, so they can track and trace it. Oh, but Paul, it's on the blockchain. This guy knows. Yeah. They're just letting the people. Okay, we will see from there, and we'll talk more and discuss about it in upcoming videos. Am I a genius at this? No, but I have a feeling and a belief, and I've been studying a lot about, in general, society, and I know a lot about human behavior, and absolutely, that's my take on that. So, okay, what am I looking at with Ether over here? Let me just finish this off. I'm going to get excited about Ether below this point. This point may break through right away. It may come crashing down fast. And if it does, you'll have to be quick buying below this 360 level. If it slowly consolidates and looks like it's going to bounce, it'll bounce for a bit and then it'll tank back below. It may look like it's holding and then come back and test above the 800 level or above the 600 levels. You got to be very careful on your entries. One wrong entry, you're losing money. That's absolutely. Either you're losing money or you're holding on for your dear life, HODL, HODL, or HODL, whatever, HODL. You're holding on for your dear life for it to come back, and then only when it comes back, you're like, I missed the biggest meat of the move. I just had a call today with a buddy of mine, and it said, hey, are you looking to buy? He's like, dude, and I warned him. I said, you don't buy at the top. And he's like, oh, I just want to get in back in December, in January. I told him, I'm like, nah, this will come down. And the people who are disciplined, who buy in and scale in and have an awesome average are the only peoples, like the market makers, like the big institutions, like the big money that makes the actual money. Okay, so I'm excited about Ether, and I will not purchase Ether. I'm just telling you right now, below this 360 level. Will I buy at this 360 level? I will not. No, I will not. Could you take a small position, a starter position at this level? Rightfully, I believe you can, because it does have massive support here, which means, it's a great level around this 400 mark to be able to, buy some and keep it for longer term, maybe 6 months, 3 months, a year. When I say long term, it's anywhere from, I think even 3 months is too early, so that if it does ever go back and spike be above this 850 mark, which I believe it will, I even believe you'll see one day, and it could be within the year, that we'll go back up above the 1440, and I'm calling that out. Today's June 12th, 2018. I do believe we will break above that level. Because of the hype, the excitement that they can do it a second time. If it went the first time, they could do it the second time. They need to make the market. Market makers make markets. And the way to bring people into this is not to spike it up one time and only to have blood on the streets, and then that's it. It's ended game and that's it. No. They can manipulate these prices over and over again so that it brings new money into the market. And once new money's into the market and it's normal for volatility to happen and liquidity to be there, now they can really take the monies out of the day traders, just like they did in the stock market. So what this is, it's all redone again. And if you haven't been trading in full-time mode for quite some time, stay tuned. That information is very important for you to learn. There are some cryptocurrency coins that you have to keep your eye on, that I'm going to be doing more research on, that has this upward potential long term to turn into the next Google. There are absolutely going to be ones that I personally believe. I'm still doing my research on them. I love Substratum. I really do. I'm willing to accumulate this. Now, have I studied enough the team, the technology, the infrastructure they have? I haven't, full disclosure, but I do believe that the technology itself is great. Ether is once again second to the market, and of course, has the first time smart contracts built and created. Another brand. They're constantly fixing and changing and updating, which is great. It shows they're dedicated to it. So can this go to zero? Absolutely. Do I believe it will? Probably not. Do I want to accumulate this? Absolutely, I do. The lower it goes, the better for me. God, we see the 140 marks. I'm going to be eating up it alive. If we see this 140, I'll eat it up alive. People say you're crazy. They told me that I was crazy when it was up here in the $1,200 mark area, that we would even see the light of day back at these $400 levels. I called it from all my friends, and they basically said I was crazy. They're like, no, this is going to the moon. Bitcoin's going to 1 million. Could it? Absolutely. Anything could change, but Bitcoin million, I'm going to call it today that I don't believe so. Just because there's so much competition now into the markets, and the market's being made. You're early, so don't worry. If you want to make money from these markets, it's still very early. There's a lot of upside to be made. I'm excited. I want to see, first of all, this tank more below this 350 levels, and I'll start recording videos as well on Ether and showing you guys my buy entries. I have 3 monitors, looking at my other ones, and yeah. Thank you very much for watching this video. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button. And if you like this, don't forget to comment. Don't be cheap and not even freaking comment. Really, I'm here to help grow this community and see how far it goes. So if you like the videos, you like the content, you like the information, boom, smash that subscribe button, get the notifications, and don't forget to comment in the videos. I'll see you soon, and click the link in the description if you want to go over to my website, where I will be blogging more as this starts to take off. Thank you so much, and that concludes this video. Peace.